What is going on, guys, and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be giving you guys some tips on how you guys can practice Meepo without all the added pressures and pretty much the bullying that tends to happen when somebody doesn't know how to play Meepo, and that would be to be playing turbo games. Now, some players might say, well, turbo games are just a lot easier and you don't really learn how to farm with Meepo, but you do learn how to team fight. Honestly, I think team fighting with Meepo is harder than farming with Meepo because you can play this like an illusion hero of sorts, and if you have practiced on illusion heroes like Siren or Phantom Lancer or Terrorblade, you can definitely split push with the Meepos and do it accordingly, and you can jungle with them quite easy. It's not that hard. I just feel like team fighting and blink poofing and all these things are just very difficult to practice on a regular game, but when you're playing turbo, there's a lot more forgiveness because you have a lot more farm and a lot more items, and with the additions to the Meepo shard and the Mega Meepo, it makes playing this hero a lot easier, and now you have automatic poofing as well. All you have to do is put it on toggle. The icon will change, and then that will let you know that all your Meepos are pretty much selected for poofing, and it's gonna make it super good, as it's very easy to do. Anyone could do this. This change was pretty big for newer players to play Meepo, and that's one of the reasons why I started getting into Meepo, as I've really always wanted to get into this hero, but I always found it very difficult and very daunting to play this hero, especially in ranked. This is not the type of hero that you can pick up in ranked on game 1 and expect to do anything. You're pretty much gonna feed off cooldown, as this hero is very difficult to play. It's not only very micro intensive, I just think it's overall the most difficult hero to play in the game, because you need to keep your awareness on every single Meepo, all their HPs. You need to keep a tab on your cooldowns for your nets, and you need to know what trades you can actually take and when you should actually take a team fight, because Meepo is a very snowball based hero. That's what makes this hero very difficult to play, as if you mess up your timing slightly, you're not really a late game king. Even with the Mega Meepo and the amount of items you can get, it's still not that great. Meepo overall is not a late game hero. This hero's strength comes from killing the early game quite quickly, being able to split push with the Meepos, being able to take over the entire jungle farm and enemy jungle farm if they have no real burst damage to deal with you or any real control. But if you do end up playing him in turbo, you're gonna find yourself with a lot less pressure. You're gonna feel like you're doing a lot better than you definitely should, because once you're playing regular games, you're gonna be there for 40-50 minutes, and it's not really that enjoyable, and I feel like you don't get as much practice on the actual hero. I feel like with turbo is a lot better because you're constantly team fighting, as you're obviously getting a lot more farm and a lot more XP without really farming too much, and you get to really learn your matchups quite well, because when it's turbo, you learn against very weird heroes that you typically won't find in the mid lane or in the safe lane if you want to play safe lane Meepo. It's definitely a thing. I just think Meepo is overall a better mid laner than safe laner. A lot of pro players definitely say otherwise, and they enjoy Meepo from the safe lane a lot better. But definitely let me know what you guys think. I think if you guys really want to get into Meepo, you should be playing some turbos. I definitely have. I'm definitely not a great Meepo whatsoever, but I've been getting my games in, and it's been a lot more enjoyable. And I feel like people have been a lot less toxic in turbo when they have a really bad Meepo player or a learning Meepo player. They don't really care too much. One, their MMR is not on the line, and it's a turbo game, so it's going to be 15-20 minutes and you're out of there, so it's not really suffering. But if you are trying to play this in ranked on game 1, it's going to be very tilting for your allies to be able to deal with a Meepo that's not really doing anything, because you don't know how to split push with him, you don't know how to take separate jungle camps, you're not going to be getting the optimal farm this hero can get. Landing your nets is not as easy as it seems. It's definitely a skill and needs to be practiced quite a bit, and poofing is also a pretty hard skill to do. Even though it's automatic now and you can do all these things with it, it's still very difficult, as you need to know where you want to poof, which Meepo you want to poof, because you will be playing against hard counters like Earthshaker, and you don't want to have all your Meepos right around you. You need to be able to delta split all your Meepos, say for a Chain Frost or something like that. So you need to be able to poof them to each other so you can get them away from danger, and you can actually keep one Meepo in the jungle, one Meepo pushing the lane, and that's one of the ways you can optimally farm with this hero. And just by not having the pressure, which I've talked to a lot of newer players, they feel like there's too much pressure in Dota when they're playing a ranked game, and most players haven't even gone to ranked when they're starting out. It takes a long time for you to be able to unlock ranked play, and these players just get very tilted very quickly because their teammates are calling them bad. But pretty much on turbo, it's just so much easier for these players to get their practice time on heroes like Meepo, Invoker, or any of these difficult heroes to play. You can definitely go ahead and have some fun with these heroes. I definitely play turbo all the time with Meepo until I'm good enough to be able to bring him to ranked, and then I will be ready to crush some MMR with this hero. In the meantime, I'm just practicing my matchups, practicing blink poof, and practicing pretty much split pushing and team fighting as much as I can, as the farming part of Meepo is pretty much what I feel like is the easiest part, as in ranked games it's a lot slower paced most games, so you have a long time to farm on the Meepo, and if you go to your side lanes and your team is making some space for the Meepo, you're gonna be definitely chilling, but you need to be able to do something with that farm. It doesn't really matter if you are a 6-slotted Meepo if you don't know how to play this hero and you are just gonna die because they're gonna single target one of your Meepos. You're not gonna have an idea who that Meepo is or how to control that Meepo without manually clicking him in a very hectic team fight. So hopefully you guys enjoyed these tips. These are very basic tips on how to play Meepo. If you're a beginner, just like myself, play some turbo. You're gonna have a lot more fun. There's gonna be a lot less toxic players, and you're pretty much gonna overall perform a lot better than you would if you were just playing a casual match or a ranked game. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video and learned something. A like would be much appreciated. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.